Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is us again, the entrepreneurs, Christian Ortiz.
Peter Perez.
What we are, we're two entrepreneurs, business owners, personal trainers, gym advocates, people who are very inspiring to do better in life. And what we talk about on this show is business, health and wellness, some motivation, and what's going on in today's world. Peter, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good.
What'd you do?
Good. I think I started when I was talking about like deleting Instagram and shit like that. I think I started that over the weekend, maybe Thursday. I don't remember.
You deleted Instagram.
I deleted Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and I only log on to these things 3 times a day.
And the reasoning?
Because I just kept bullshitting. I didn't like that. I just sat on my phone for like most of the day. So basically what ends up happening on iPhones or maybe Androids, I don't know if Androids have the feature. They probably do. But I spent, I think, around 54% of my day on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And more, it just kept gnawing at me. And I was like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore.
What percentage do you think of people who are on social media are influenced by what they see on there?
Everybody.
So it's 100%.
100%. 100%. Besides those like people who just like post to post, you know what I mean? Like I used to run into people who would post like 15 different times in a single day, but it would be something like them walking and then cat shit that they saw on their walk or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, but otherwise, that just kind of made you. But otherwise, like everyone posts for the sake of seeing what other people post, and everyone is influenced by what other people post.
Oh, there you have it. Delete your shit.
Delete your shit for the time being. What I do is I log on only 3 times a day. So usually sometime in the morning, in the afternoon. So I'll probably hop on around like 5, maybe 6 o'clock, and then delete it again, and then go on in the evening before bed. But like an hour before I actually go to sleep or something like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's been helping me out, a little bit more productive.
It's been way over a year now for me. So thank goodness gracious. If you do see posts, it's coming from my marketing people, which we try to plan. So that's how that works. So today's business topic I want to talk about is what do we think business owners are doing now during or
COVID.
Since, we're now we're going to talk about the COVID-19, of course. COVID-19. We're in May. We're in phase 1 here in Orlando.
Still?
Phase 1 in Orlando. And so some certain businesses are able to open, but there's a lot of businesses doing a Chapter 11 bankruptcy. A lot of restaurants already. So what to do? What am I doing? And I want to talk about, what a small business owner like myself, what do I do with numbers? How do we figure out trends? Because you just don't know. A lot of the answers are you don't know. So what does someone like me, that my company's been shut down since March 18th, and we don't know if we're gonna have a summer camp. We don't know what's going on. So what is it that I do? First thing that I had to realize is I had to just deal with it. I'm not gonna cry. Did I cry? Did I pout a little bit? Absolutely I did. Was I a little wuss? Yes, I was. Okay? I did fall into the trap of I need the government to help me now.
But keeping that in mind, like that pouting and feeling bad for yourself, it's almost expected because like you've literally put your heart and soul into this for what, like 6-7 years?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like it's expected. But go ahead.
But one thing that I had to realize was I realized that no matter what, the government and they're not going to help me. You know what I mean? I've applied for everything you can even think of, come March or, since March. I haven't heard anything back. I know the system's been broken and stuff like that. You know what? When May came around and starting today, I said, you know what? I'm just going to deal with it. And if things come to me, they do. If they don't, they don't. At the end of the day, I'm going to control what I can control.
Yep.
So I think a lot of business owners out there, there's things that, you're not going to be able to control. And this is one of them. You can't control a virus, but you can control how you're going to be able to handle it.
Exactly.
So how am I going to handle it? I'm going to handle it by I'm going to plan out. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to have to, go after my customers, go after my clients, let them know I'm still around. Let the parents know that, hey, I was just talking to a respiratory therapist, by the way, and he said he
Oh,
believes that obesity is a big problem with
Oh,
people
yeah,
with COVID-19.
that's not even a. Bro, that's.
And he said that
that's
a lot of
indefinite.
males under 50 who are obese are the ones that are dying. This is actual person that's dealt with at least over 20 patients already.
No, I totally agree
himself,
because like
By the way,
obesity in itself is, I think, the second leading in America.
absolutely.
Second leading. So you're basically hindered by damn near anything that comes to you after that point, whether that be diabetes.
But people don't take it serious.
Bro,
Peter, we've been talking
people
about
do not
obesity for
take-
10 years.
People do not take obesity seriously. They don't.
You know why?
It's a slow killer.
No, because it's easy to eat.
I agree, but there's like you'd have to also start diving into people's emotional issues in regards to their eating. It's tough to like definitively.
Why are there more now? But my thing is why are there more now than ever?
Obesity?
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with the culture now of instant gratification and
Uber
the-
Eats, it's right
Uber
there.
Eat- yeah,
It's just
everything.
easy.
Convenience. Like absolute convenience.
So it's easy to just it's easy to eat, but you can't just walk into a gym and work out.
yeah, no.
But it's right
weird.
there.
It's weird. People
But wait a minute, it's right there. It's convenient. There's
is
gyms
right there.
everywhere.
There-
Peter, I could drive 2 miles right now and find a gym. Planet Fitness charges $10 a month.
my thing is
You have
go ahead.
Bob, the home workout guru on Instagram, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Some other girl with, that's probably selling packages or whatever everybody's following, and they don't do it.
I agree.
But they
I
have
agree.
no problem Uber eating, no problem going right over to Chipotle like we're going to do at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
They have no problem. They have no problem.
Don't laugh
Our
now. You're going
producers-
to.
Our producer's dying.
But one thing that I will say is like with that initial state of resistance that people have when it comes to doing something that's actually productive for
I
them.
just flipped.
Yeah, you did. But that initial state of resistance is the shit that holds people back. And like going back to that social media shit, when it came down to me like actually doing shit and I had to get off of my phone to do something that was relatively productive, that in essence in the beginning is not that fucking fun, that I'm not going to want to do it. So just imagine like the person who's like obese, fat, whatever you want to call it, and they're insecure, and then you have to help them get over that hump. And a lot of the time, if they don't have a trainer, they got to do it
I
themselves.
guess that's why we have a job.
That is very true.
I want to touch something.
love you.
We'll get back to the health and wellness subject for a second. But I want to touch on business advice real quick. For someone who you had asked me, I think on our first episode, or you tried saying, hey, you have $50 or $500 or whatever. What do you do?
Yeah.
I want to talk about some mistakes that
Business
that I made, or
Ooh.
some mistakes that I feel like a lot of people are going to make when they're by themselves and they don't have a team yet.
Mhm.
Okay? So, number one is you got to know your numbers. You hear that all the time. It's such a cliche thing to do, but you really, truly, deeply have to know this. I didn't figure this out probably till 5 years
In?
in.
Shit.
And you know but you know what? That was the year that I broke over the 6-figure mark. You know what I mean? So once I figured that out, and then obviously I doubled that, and it kept going. My whole point behind that is you got to know your numbers. And what do I mean by know your numbers? Know what it cost. Okay? Know what it cost you to run your business or your product. So if you're making a product, know how much it costs. Then you got to figure out what your bills are to run. If you're paying rent, what are your actual business expenses, and then how much do you want to make? Then that's going to give you
The number.
the number that you need. So know your numbers, right? So I call that. There's a book that I lent you like 18 years ago called Profit First. And one is you got to know those numbers, and two, pay yourself. Make sure you are able to have a salary for yourself, that you're able to afford a salary for you first before you hire someone else that you think is going to make you money. Do not hire somebody, okay, in hopes that they're going to be able to get you where you need to be.
Before that, really quick.
I made that mistake, but go ahead.
No, it wasn't that. Let me ask this. What are a few steps now that you'll take to make sure that you're hiring the right person? Ooh.
This is a good one. I'm going to get back to that in a really good second, in a second. But that's the
Write
best.
that down so you don't
that's
forget.
the best question you've asked me so far. How do I know that
In
I'm
life?
hiring the right person?
Yeah. 3 things that you need to know when hiring the right person.
Oh my God, I've made way more mistakes hiring the wrong people than I have the right people. I could tell you that.
I've been there.
Okay, and you know
I've
this.
very much been there.
All right, so know your numbers, which means you have to be able to make a profit first. Okay? Secondly, be able to pay yourself first. Okay? Pay yourself first before you pay your actual business bills. What does that even mean? It basically means is if you're not able to pay yourself, you can't afford your bills. It just is what it is.
Facts.
Okay? It just really is what it is. If you're paying your bills first and you have no money, what are you doing?
Big facts.
What are you doing? Listen, I'm not saying in the beginning of your business, you're not going to be in the shits. You're not going to, you're going to be, it's going to be rough. There's going to be a problem where you're not going to be making any profit. You're going to be losing some money. But before you hire someone, you have to figure out how to make money first. Here's why. If you hire someone before you're even making a profit, how can you teach them to make a profit? It doesn't make sense. Again, if you hire someone to make you profit, but you haven't made any profit yet, how can you teach them to make a profit? That's not going to work. You know what I mean? That's just not going to work. So make sure you pay yourself first. And then number 3, you gotta hire the right person. This is a tough one because with the fakeness of people and the people who are the fakeness of people and the way the world and the economy has come around, with people now know what to say. They even know how to act it and believe it. Okay?
Talk about what you were, that book that you were talking about.
Unscripted?
Yeah, Dunning-Kruger effect.
The Dunning-Kruger effect. Dunning-Kruger basically means people believe that they really believe this, that they are actually talented, smart, doing something. They really, truly believe this. Like if they took a polygraph test, they would pass it. But society has made them feel this way. You're great. You're awesome. You're this. You're that. Oh, you could do anything you want to do. And then it comes down to that point where everybody's going to get to this point. It comes down to a point where it's you against you and you don't even know who the fuck you are anymore. You don't even know yourself and you fail miserably. But there's people out there that I've run into where they come in, they say everything that they need to say.
Totally believable.
And Rebecca, my director, or whoever, they're like, man, that was a great person. I'm like, no, they weren't. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, they weren't. Like, you could just tell how authentic, you can just tell how real someone is. My last 2 hires have been the best hires I've had by far. And it's because me and Rebecca were very, 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 very patient. And that's where Patience and Elaine came in. And they've been my best 2 hires. And unfortunately, this damn coronavirus thing happened.
Bro, they're ballers, bro.
And they were very, very good. They were no
Ballers.
Dunning-Krugers. They came in ready to work, ready to go, on time, very loyal, and they
Smart.
meant business. We were ready to take this summer by storm. We were going to wipe out people. Trust me, with my team.
I was watching it, bro. I was just like,
and
they're both smart as hell.
unfortunately, this happened, but it is what it is. But how do you know? So how do you know? Number 1, you have to basically say who is going to be able to understand what my vision is the most and live and breathe that vision. Who's going to be able to create that vision for you? You got to be able to make them feel valued. And I can tell within the first 2 weeks if someone's good or not. That's it. First 2 weeks. That's all I need. Not even that. Maybe the first week I'm going to know. When they're asking me a lot of questions and if they're on my ass about shit, they're good. If they're just kind of sitting back waiting, I'm just observing. No, I don't need someone like that. I want lions. I'm not sitting here. Don't be a fly on the wall. You want to go get something, you go after it. That's it. Period. You want to grow in a company, you go after it. Don't complain when Ryan took over your promotion. No, you didn't get promoted because you didn't do good enough. Plain and simple.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
That just is what it is. That's business.
Yep.
That's our business topic. Any other questions you have for me?
No, I think that's good.
Was that all right?
Yeah, that was solid.
I'm going off today.
Yeah.
Dude, I took this fucking thing called Genius. I got to look it up.
Oh, I know
Get
what you're
back to
talking about.
Peter.
Bro, tweaking? You
No, like I am super energized and focused.
Yeah, you smelling colors
I
right
went
now.
on a run this morning with Marshmallow. I almost had to lift him up and bring him back. I swear to
Damn,
you.
he's
I
damn
swear
near
my
done.
wife. He was,
Bring that shit in.
dude, he was dying to the point where he couldn't keep up. Ramsey was straight, but his
Ramsey's fucking
Marshmallow's a big
horse.
pig. But that's my boy. We'll put him up. We'll put him up one day on the podcast. He is a cute dog. Have you seen him before?
fucking huge.
I'm bringing him in next. As a matter of fact, next podcast, Marshmallow's sitting right
We're
here.
gonna do shots too.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Oh, that's lit. You want
Any,
a shot too?
any,
yeah.
any,
You want-
any other
yeah.
other business questions you have?
No, I think
Do you
we're
have
good
one
right
for
now.
me?
Yeah, Ask one
Anything-
real quick.
Anything that you ever wanted to know or like you're
Real
curious
quick.
about? We're asking Kevin, our producer, who's the man, by the way. He's great.
It's fucking awesome.
How do you feel about online marketing?
Online marketing? What do you mean? How do I feel about it?
Like, cause like for my stuff, I do promo like Facebook
Yeah.
or something like that. Do you feel like now is the best time to start it, or do you think you should wait a little bit to grow before?
I want to say something really quick. Start it whenever the fuck you get the chance. Like, don't even wait for it. There's no perfect time for it. Because you can keep waiting and justifying like whether or not something is going to be a perfect time, and I guarantee you there's going to be one specific thing that's off, and you're going to be like, no, I'm gonna push it off. I'm gonna go that next time, and then that next time is gonna come up that's supposedly perfect, and then there's one thing that's gonna throw you off again. You're like, no, I
You're
don't wanna do
never, ever going to be ready.
that. Yeah, and you're gonna get fucked
One
up.
thing about life that I know, I don't care how prepared people think they are with stuff, you're not prepared.
and you're gonna get fucked up. You have to
Oh,
let
we're
people
going to
know
have a
that.
kid next year, then they have a kid. You're not prepared for the kid.
Mm-mm.
It's a new kid. They're their own person. How are you going to be able to adapt to them? You're not ready for them. This coronavirus, who's ready, right?
Nobody.
So the only time you're ready is when you're in it.
Yeah.
Right? So online marketing. Believe it or not, those of you that when you start researching me, you'll realize I don't even do a lot of marketing. But I'm going to tell you something right now. Peter will tell you this. I know a lot about marketing. I've read .com, Blue Ocean Strategy, One Page Marketing Plan. You name it, I've read it. I've YouTubed Bedros Cooley. I mean, I know SEO, Google Analytics, Facebook ads, target marketing, MailChimp email
Funnel
blast marketing,
systems.
ClickFunnels systems, you name it, I've done them. The thing about online marketing is you got to be able to attract attention. You got to be able to be you got to be everywhere. You got to be that that annoying ad that pops up every time? That's got to be you.
I agree.
And at some point, there'll be one thing that's going to catch that person that they're going to listen.
Yeah.
right?
So I'll see.
It's happened to
something-
me. It's
yeah.
happened to me before.
I've
Like,
seen
this
something
freaking
like-
guy skip ad,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden I'm like, "What's he talking about?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay,"
Yeah. People are gonna see your shit. Like, chances are, people are gonna see something about an. I forgot who told me this, but like, people are gonna see something an average of about 7 times before they click it once. You know what I mean? So like overall, like they'll probably see your stuff. You know what I mean? And they don't think about it. Again, they don't think about it. Then they finally just click it that one time, and they're like, I fuck with this. They're either gonna be like, yo, I fuck with this, or they're gonna be like, I don't fucking like it, and then they're just gonna go about their business. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've been doing it.
As long as you get it in front of somebody's face, though, because like realistically, people are either gonna think like, one day someone will be like, yo, you heard of like Beats by Kamo? And they're like, yeah, I remember that shit. I seen that ad once. You know what I mean? And that's enough, bro. Believe it or not, that is a fucking enough. That is enough. Cause like I've had people be like, oh, yo, you're Peter or some shit. I'm like, what, bitch? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And then they're like, oh yeah, from like Instagram or like, oh, from powerlifting. But yeah, I feel like it's more than worth it, bro, to be honest with you. And I don't even, bro, I have like what? we got 1,800 followers. You know what I mean? Just imagine there's people out there with like 10,000. And 10,000 isn't even a lot. And they just post shit and the people see it and you get on the explore page and whatever the fuck. Like, it's just a matter of doing.
I mean, I do it, but
That's what shit boils down to. I feel like shit boils down to a matter of doing. Just do it.
That's it. You know what though?
on a small scale.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I was just having this conversation with my wife. I'm gonna record here just in case I go on a rant for like motivation, because I'm supposed to be doing a motivation video for Catherine. So I'm gonna send her this whole video and whatever the hell she wants to pick out, it is what it is. One thing that I want to add on that, which is what my motivation topic was that part is the hardest part for people.
Doing.
The easiest thing, okay, in life, the easiest things in life are the hardest. And I'm going to explain why. Okay? Marriage.
Yep.
How hard is it to love each other? If you're a husband, treat your wife as a princess. What's the problem? Buy her flowers. Open the door for her. Cook for her. Treat her nice. She comes in, smile. Okay, that's the last person you're going to look at before you die. What's the problem? Why are you going to treat that person bad?
Facts.
That is the last person you're electing to see, unless you have kids. I'm sure. I don't know what it is.
But I see
But
you're
what
going.
is the problem? If
Yeah.
you're a woman, treat your man like a king. Okay, he works hard most of the time. Yeah, we're stupid. We're lazy sometimes. We're not going to be able to fold clothes correctly.
It's the
We're
truth.
not going to be. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to forget things. Okay,
I
love him.
Man, I'd forget
Cherish
my
that
name.
guy. Okay, what did he do? What is he doing for you that's going to be that makes you tick? That makes you say, "Man, you know what? That's the husband that I married." Yes, we all have problems. Nothing's going to be perfect, but why? It's not hard. Okay, working out, another one. Just go to the gym.
Start.
Gain momentum.
Momentum. I
Everything
agree.
starts with momentum. Okay? Gain momentum. It's just do it. That's it. Wake up, go. Okay? It is not hard. Okay? Just do it. What's the problem? If you're in college, you're studying a subject, I need to write that paper. Just do it.
I agree, but that's the same thing when it came to my phone, bro. It's that resistance you experience an
But
initial
buddy,
resistance.
it's not hard.
I agree. I agree.
So my advice to you folks, the easiest things in life, okay, we make them really hard. We make everything hard. And this is coming from someone that's firsthand experience. I'm a victim of this myself. Trust me, I got lazy too myself. But once my
we all
mind
do.
starts going,
we all do.
and I'm saying just do it. Listen, so my advice to you, just do it. Just go. The minute I need it, just go and do it. That's it. That's my motivation Monday. It's your boy Christian. I'm out on this video, but
Action
we're going to keep
pivot.
going for the
Boom.
podcast.
Yes. All right. So we got to get into that was the motivation?
Yeah. That was
Okay, cool.
No, that was for you want to do one for you? You should do
No,
one
you
for
good,
you.
bro.
This
I'm
is
not
my
worried
boy
about
Peter
that.
Perez.
But
Go ahead.
no, we got to talk about these books, bro. We got to talk about these books that changed our lives.
Okay. So that's my motivation. Anyways, health and wellness. For those of you that are struggling, just do it. Get up and go, oh, well, I can't. Okay.
I'm tired.
That's your first thing. Stop that. Okay? You know what I mean? That's your first problem. The minute, you don't understand. I have kids. No, you're making that an option. Life is going to be able to give you, listen to me. Life doesn't give you what you always want. It gives you what you earn and what you are.
I agree.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And it gives you the circumstances it's going to give you. So this coronavirus is giving it to you. What are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm. I was reading the subconscious book, but he was talking about how no action or anything that's going on in life is inherently good or bad. It's only your perception and how you end up divulging any of the information or anything that ends up happening to you. So if you kick that dumbbell over there, it's not the dumbbell's fault that your fucking toe is bleeding. That's your fault. You did something to do that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was just a little small tidbit. That was it. I didn't really have too much to say there. We got to talk about these books, bro. Talk about the books that change your life.
But real quick, food-wise, I always like talking about real quick. Do you have a favorite top 3 healthy snack?
Healthy snack.
People that are fast, they're on the go, they're having a
Dude.
hard time, they work their ass off 60 hours plus a week, they need a quick snack, go.
Quick snack. Bro, I love the what are they called? Like clementines, the little cuties.
Oh my goodness.
Bro, I can dog like 6 of them.
But
like
that's like
off
that's a
rip.
bunch of sugar. That's not a healthy snack.
Yes, it is. It's a carb. That's fine.
Peter, not
But
everybody's 24 with a metabolism like you.
I know. Okay, fine. Okay, one thing that I cannot get over for like right now is like pretzels and hummus would be like an amazing snack.
Okay.
I
not
love
bad.
pretzels because
That's
like
good.
I never really like go out of my way to have pretzels, but when I do, I dog the shit out of pretzels like every time, and it never
All right,
fails.
what else?
Nuts. Nuts are super simple. I like nuts. Pause. But
Are you high?
no. But nuts and or peanut butter are perfect.
You
Peanut
know-
butter and jelly, fucking amazing.
You know, Borat, this suit is not pause black.
But no, seriously, that I love those two snacks. And if there were to be another like protein, something that has protein, I would
Yes.
more than likely go with a like a protein bar, like
Yes.
something super simple. Cliff,
Which
I
bar-
think is disgusting.
What's
for
your
one,
favorite protein bar? Go.
I would either go with I like Supreme because they're like a whole meal, quote unquote. Granted, I don't really recommend that for someone who's along the lines of weight loss unless the situation calls for it. But Supreme is good. Oh, the what is it? Lennon Larry's or some shit like that. Yeah, those protein cookies. They're decent. You know, they get the job done. Yeah, I mean, you could get a fucking muscle milk, bro. Like, just get some protein in whatever way you can. I don't know why people make that so hard. You can go to a gas station,
You're right.
5 minutes.
Again? No, wait. What did you say? You don't know what?
Just wait, what?
You don't know why?
Why people make it so hard?
Because it's easy.
Not true.
All you have to do is do it.
Yeah,
This
I
is
agree.
my point.
Yeah, people are fucking lazy. We're all lazy though. Everyone's
No,
lazy.
I listen. I'm not. For those, listen. Trust me. We've all done this. I'm just saying the key to the success is that
Doing.
just do it.
Yeah. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna fail. You're gonna mess up. Just keep going.
All right. So what I wanted to do today is going to be our miscellaneous topic, but the average CEO, Chief Executive Officer, reads 60 books per year.
I haven't even touched that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. guys.
60 books per year. I'm already at 14 for the year. Okay, I'm already at 14 for the year.
Shit.
And what Peter had a really good subject today. He said, "Hey, why don't we talk about our top 3 books, top 3 favorite books that
change our lives.
changed our lives, inspired us?" So, I brought 4 because I had a hard time like picking 1, 2, 3. But I'm going to talk about how I decided why these are mine, and then you can tell me why yours are.
Yeah.
What I had to judge by was how impactful the advice or what I read changed my life.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about each one and what it did. Number 2, how useful is it for the rest of my life, not just business or whatever it is like that. And number 3, the content did obviously I was related to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think I think everything you should relate to, but I feel like those were the 3 that I judged it off. What makes yours your selections?
I mean, mine is the same thing, but it was more so time frames in my life, I would say. 2 of the 3 books that I have are within the same time frame. Literally, I wouldn't even say months. I would say a few weeks apart because I finished them within a few weeks of each other. But both of them were pivotal. Like I still think about those books to this day. One of them's on the table right now.
Is it your number 1?
Yeah, that was mine.
Same
number
one we have? Okay.
Yeah, same one. And it just I call it. You got to start, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it.
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, I do read 4 to 5 books at one time.
Tripping.
It is true. I did. I read. I was upset. I read 6 last month.
Damn.
Darn. But no, I'm currently reading one really good one right now called Unscripted. I'm reading one, Man's Search for Meaning. I'm already 50 page deep, and that one is serious.
For real?
That's sad. I already cried.
It's sad.
Terrible. sad, but like
I don't know.
very inspirational. The guy was captured in World War One off the rip.
All right, don't tell me.
He's in.
What
He's
if I
in.
read it?
Hold on. He's in concentration camp,
Fuck, man.
and he talks about people that they were just questioning themselves for existence and what he had to go through
like,
emotionally
what is it?
and
What
what
is
he
it?
saw.
Everything worth?
Saw his friends, like it was terrible, and what he was just basically saying, like what he had to ask himself to survive. It's guys,
I've heard of that
you
book.
have to read it.
I've
I'm
heard
like,
of that book.
I will probably be done by the next podcast. I'll be done with it, and we'll go over it.
All right, I'm
100%.
about that.
I'll let you borrow it if I get it back because I haven't got my other two back.
That's what I was saying. That's why I made that face. Okay, so yeah. Go
All right,
ahead.
so
Go
my number, I'm going to go with top 4. My number 4 book, and by the way, I don't know how many books I have.
too fucking many.
Okay, I have a lot. We're gonna go with Damon John, The Power of Broke. People, this might be a surprise to people, but when I was looking at my bookshelf, and I even got chills I got chills right now. Most of my life, I've been broke as hell. Credit cards, bills, you name it, like really broke. When I picked up this book, I think I was making about $40,000 to $45,000 a year. And, you know, I had a dream like everybody else, and I was like, you know what, man, like, you know, I'm tired of being broke. And so this book spoke to me. And what this book does for me specifically, it reminds me of my broke times. It reminds me when my car was about to get repoed. It reminds me when me and my wife only had $20 a week to eat. It reminds me of when we had to make a decision whether to pay my car or miss a credit card payment. You know, it reminds me of those times of when I had to pretend to put a big smile going to serve tables and say, hey, you know, how are you today? You know, I had to pretend because he tells a lot of these stories like that. You know, Damon John, he was selling his shirts out of his car, FUBU. He was selling his shirts out of his car, and he had nothing. Him and his mom was raised in the ghetto. And this book was really powerful for me because it was really relatable. He had a dream, he had a vision. I had a dream, I had a vision. He went hustling around out of the car of his, you know, the backseat of his car to sell shirts. I took my Buick and I was driving around with no gas from school to school to try to pitch my program with barely any money, you know, taking the tolls and going from school to school to try to pitch my after school program. I now have 23 schools.
Solid.
It's a hustle, and it's a big thing, and that's why it means a lot to me. It's something that I was really relatable to. So anybody who's always been broke, who's had a dream, this is a good reminder to keep yourself in check. That's my number 4. Peter, your number 3.
My number 3 would have to be A New Earth. In A New Earth.
A New Earth?
A New Earth.
Explain it and why.
It's by Eckhart Tolle, but the book in itself is about like realizing when you are acting or speaking through an ego. So a lot of the time people, so for example, if someone were to say to me now, and don't get me wrong, like I still have to kind of like check myself when it comes to me thinking about things like
we
this.
all do.
Yeah. So if someone were to say to me like, hey, I think that you're a bad trainer, what happened?
I got a video call from my wife. Should I put her on?
Fuck it, why not? Yeah.
Here, folks, we're joined by my wife, Alexandria Ortiz. She's shaking her head.
Oh, she's mad.
She's mad. But this is what it looks like. Say hi. So I'm gonna get off, Christina. I'm gonna be done in about 5 minutes. Okay, good. I love you. All right, bye.
All right.
Anyways,
So
go ahead.
if someone were to say to me like, "Hey, you're a bad trainer," my ego is revolving around me being a trainer. So if someone were to insult me in that way and be like, "Hey, you're a bad trainer," it would make me upset. You know what I mean? But that's not all that I am. I just created an ego around what I do. So like that's someone who
That's good.
yeah, bro, it's an amazing book. So it also shows how people will, for example, gatekeep. Like if I'm the one who drinks Monster and you start bringing in Monsters, I'm like, bro, I've been drinking Monsters before you. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do about it? Like I've been
Ego.
drinking. Yeah, it's the
Check
ego.
the ego.
Check the ego. But it has a lot more to. It's a lot deeper than that. Go ahead. No, you're number 2. Or you're number 3 now because you have 3 of them.
Yeah,
4 of
I
them.
know. I guess I'll do I'll do 3 and 2 because
Just to line them up.
because
Yeah,
our
I
number
feel you.
one's the same.
Yeah, go ahead.
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This book's been around for ages. And you know what's mind-boggling? People forget. Why are we so mean to one another when you need people
We
to rely
need
on
people.
business?
We fucking need people. You can hate people all you want. Because everyone does at least a little bit. But you need people.
You know, this is an amazing book because that's exactly what it talks about. It talks about how to win friends and influence people, and it's not talking about like being like manipulative. It
How to
talks about
sell,
how
yeah.
to passionately like win friends and win people over. And it changed me because I felt like I knew people until I read this book, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing a good enough job really knowing them. Like I know them, but I don't really know them, and they're not really my friends, you know. And that's a lot of that was because I wasn't really invested.
Mhm.
It's a really good book of keep doing for others, you know, do the right thing, speak well to them, treat them correctly, and at some point that will all come back to you.
Yeah.
And that's how you influence them. So unbelievable book. I think if you're in sales, this is a really good book for you because it'll teach you how to talk to anybody. If you're afraid of people, you have anxiety from people, another good book right here because you know some people have social anxiety. This is a big one for you. And this is something I got from my wife, believe it or not. So How to Win Friends and Influence People, number 3. My number 2, because I have 4, it's not fair to Pete, is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I think every person in the world needs to read this book. Every person in the world. I don't think every person in the world should read Think and Grow Rich. I'll get into that in a second.
I feel you.
But I think every person, Democrat, Republican, independent, mom, dad, whoever you are out there, if you have not read this book, you need to go pick it up. It's $9 on Amazon. Go grab it, read it.
See if you can get the audiobook too.
I'm telling you right now, it is life-changing. The reason why it's that, this guy is the best person that I've seen that has explained poor people's side, because he's been there, and rich people's side, and why people are the way they are. And then how to overcome that and think no matter what quadrant you're in. And I think even if you don't have an open mind, you're going to learn something from this. It teaches you about taxes. It teaches you about why people are the American way. It teaches you. It does. It talks about self-employed, employed, investing, real estate. I mean, he talks about real life experiences in this book, and I really think people need to pick up this book and read it. This is my number 2 for that reason.
All right, let me go into my number 2. My number 2 was by Carol Dweck, and that was Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. And it was basically a book about absolute persistence. So she spoke about somebody in, I think it was a triathlon or something. This lady pulled her hamstring from the fucking femur and kept running, and she got first place. But that was just purely persistence. So one thing that I feel like people completely overlook is everyone has an amount of intensity to be able to distill on a specific thing, but people, as soon as that intensity dies, they just stop, and you don't persist in doing that specific thing anymore. I feel like people, no matter what energy you have.
Oh, like a half procrastination.
Yeah, like not even procrastination. It's just a stop. Like you just don't do it anymore. I feel like everyone should, no matter how much, like you could have insane amounts of intensity on a specific thing. And don't get me wrong, you're going to get a lot of progress in that, but I feel like everyone should be persistent. Just do that specific thing day in and day out. And the book in itself is about that persistence and how that will ultimately lead you to winning, no matter what. That's the number one thing.
Will
I
ultimately
fucking love
lead
that
you
book.
to winning. Okay?
Ultimately.
And remember, winning for everybody's different. Man, these two I'm about to audible them like right now.
Bro, they're fucking fire. Great books.
Our number 1s are the same. And I want to talk about it for a second. and that is, if you've never heard of it, you should have heard of it by this point.
At one point, yeah.
It's called Think and Grow Rich. I think every entrepreneur has read this book, and it's this little thing like this. It's not long. It's only 231 pages, but if you look at it, this is the first book I read. This was the first book on my bookshelf. This was the first book that got me into reading. Believe it or not, right here.
Like reading, like when you're not in school anymore.
So this
like,
started my whole collection.
Yeah.
Like my whole like entrepreneurial books, like all that stuff. Like this started everything. I bought this and Awakening the Giant by Tony Robbins, which is another good one.
I read that one.
But this book right here, it says at the top, this book could be worth millions, $1 million to you, $1 million to you. Think and Grow Rich. It's basically what it is. Think and grow rich. The reason why it says think is because you got to be able to have to have an open mind,
Clear vision,
and be a little creative. And if you're a little stuck to read this book, if you're one of them people that are like, nope, this is the way I am. I'm stubborn. I'm like
life.
this is the way I am. My life. This won't do shit for you.
I agree.
You're just going to read it and be like, I don't know what the hype is. You'll probably leave a negative review, 1, 2 stars. This did nothing for me. For someone like me who, at the time, I had just started my kids program. I've read this back in 2015. I just started my
I read it the same year.
That's weird. But I had just started my kids
2015.
program, and I was like, I'm in a new place, and someone was like, hey, if you really want to start thinking and you want to get rich and be a creative mind, read this book called Think and Grow Rich. And when I read it, they talk about Sam Adams, the beer.
Yep.
He talks about, adversity. Every adversity, every
Carnegie
failure,
too.
every heartache carries with it the seed of an equivalent or a greater benefit. A seed. It talks about like you being a seed and over and over again.
Oh,
So
no,
go ahead.
It's in my other
But
thing.
anyways, Think and Grow Rich. That's what it was relatable to me because I needed to create my business. I was in the dumps at the time, and it means a lot to me.
I want to touch on that too. So.
If there's every book that's on my bookshelf that's burned, I will just hope this one's the last one left.
Yeah. So when it came to Think and Grow Rich, I was actually working at LA Fitness. I was at the front desk. I had worked my way up from being a janitor, and I was sitting up there because there was absolutely not a fucking thing to do if I wasn't checking people in. So I read that book, and I read Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, and I read them like back to back. And I often call Think and Grow Rich the book that got me fired because like it made me just take action in regards to like what I wanted. I knew I wanted to be a personal trainer. I didn't know how. I was just like, I'm just gonna fucking figure it out. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I had a friend, Joe was his name. I think he lives in like San Francisco now or something like that. But he was like, yo, I still got the personal training book if you want it. I was like, but I bet, bro. Like, let me read that shit. So I started reading it. And then people would come up to me at LA Fitness and they'd be like, bro, personal training is so expensive. Bro, like, oh, you work out? You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, like, you're at LA Fitness. It's not like you're there just to not do anything. You're there for the free. I don't care what anyone says. If you're working front desk or you're a janitor, yeah, you're doing it for money, but chances are you're also doing it for a free membership. Let's be real. So I was doing it for essentially a free membership. And people would ask me like, oh, yeah, you work out, this, that. I'm like, yeah. So what I started doing was I started selling programs under the table at the front of the LA Fitness, bro. And then one day I got a call. I was working a double, and the operations manager called me. I was like, oh, shit, I must have forgot something at the gym. And she calls me, and she's like, hey, Peter. And she just sounded sad. I was like, damn.
I love stories like this.
I was like, damn,
love
this
stories
is
like
it.
this.
I was like, this is it for me. So she was like, yeah, we found out that you're selling programs to people. And I think someone snitched on me. I really think someone snitched on me.
Of course they did.
Yeah, someone snitched on me. She was talking to me, and then I got on the phone with, I think, the regional manager of LA Fitness. I remember I forgot his name. And bro, he was on he's like, hey, we found out that you're selling programs to our people. And I was like, yeah. So am I fired? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, damn. So I had to go in. I dropped off my key. And I remember the date too, bro. It was June 10th, 2015. June 10th, 2015. I went in and I dropped off my key. This is the coolest part about the whole story. my manager, she just had this like a disappointed look on her face. But it was the evening. I used to be like mostly a closer. So I walked in and I started talking to the people that I knew from the evenings. And I was like, yo, like this is my last night. I'm leaving. I'm getting fired and shit like that. And I walk around and I tell like 4 or 5 people. 4 people come up to the desk. And they're like, you cannot fucking fire this guy. He's the best one you have here. Everyone loves him. You can't fire him. You can't. And I walked out right after that. And I walked the fuck out. And that was it. That shit was hilarious, bro. That was one of the, that's like, I love that specific. That was one of the craziest days I've ever lived, like ever. That shit was dope.
You see that smile on his face? That's what I'm. It's moments like that that make you.
Yeah.
It didn't break you.
I had a great
Remember
fucking
that.
time.
I had a good time on this podcast.
Yeah, this one was a really good one. I like this one.
I had a good time. Peter, thank you for the stories. So listen up, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Business, health, and wellness, and our miscellaneous topics. It's your entrepreneur, Christian Ortiz.
And Peter Pires.
We are out.